On the Wake of Radio presents The Center with your host, DC Radical One.
All right. Greetings, friends, family, allies, and enemies. I am doing this without a microphone, so we are using the microphone on the computer, and we're going to see how that goes. Because some type of way, I forgot my microphone. Don't ask how. That's the type of day it has been. I'm a little off kilter today, admittedly, because I got some bad news that I had a feeling I was going to get anyway. You know how Star Wars, the Force stuff, and you can they can allegedly feel things in the air or whatever type of thing. Yeah, that aspect of it is kind of real. Like if you tune, especially, I've always been able to, for people that I'm close to, right? I've been able to feel stuff with them, even if I don't know 100% what it is. I'll be candid in starting off. When I was a child, I felt the passing of a relative. Like I knew it. Like I woke up in the middle of the night, I knew it immediately. And then my mother told me in the morning, but I already knew. So her telling me was only confirming. You know what I'm saying? So, it's nothing that horrible, but still, it's something. Some news I ain't want to hear. And so if I'm not, if I sound like I ain't 100% on point, it's because I ain't really 100% on point. You know what I'm saying? It's just, sometimes it's just like, how can I put it? Life happens, you know what I'm saying? And life is transitory. But you never want anything, how can I put it? You never want anything lingering or painful for anyone that you know or love. You know what I'm saying? Just put it like that. So, I mean, but we'll see how it goes. Things happen, man. And you know what I'm saying? There are things you can control and things you can't. And I'm just, right now, just the things that I can't control have been disturbing my spirit even before this. So this was just like, here, have some more. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, come on, man. Really? Give me a break here. So tonight, what I was initially, as y'all can tell from the thumbnail, what we was going to talk about was this whole Trump situation with Venezuela, because it wasn't making sense to me. And then, brother, you got ripped off, gave me the key to the riddle, and it was like, oh, so obvious. And what's funny is, like, the information that's in the news and the people in the news that they don't know, they don't get it. Like, it's so wild, man, to see. Peace and blessings to brother Crow, B48. Let me greet the people, man. I'm so off my square. First of all, B48, the brother you got ripped off, back in the building. He was celebrating 10 months as a member, so he's almost at the 1 year mark. You know what I'm saying? He's the OG of the crew. BB to me, the brother Safo. Who else I got? I mentioned brother Crow, and of course, greetings to Sister Najee. We still working on what tomorrow's show is going to be. I was hoping that she came up with something this time, but she's like, sir, you have to do some work on your own show. But I appreciate that, sister. Here's what's weird, man. And then I'm actually what I'm gonna do after I get this ran off is I'm gonna actually show a commercial. If I owe somebody something. Black Power, brother Vincent Ali. Here's what's weird. I was looking at my analytics, right? And the last month, 28 days. Yeah, so this month, yeah. Now this for all the shows regarding and videos, everything we put up. This month for whatever reason is 95% the audience according to the analytics. Now I can't argue with the analytics. 95% male audience. So I appreciate the brothers, you know what I'm saying? I appreciate brother. You got Rick Off, Safo, Brother Crow's always in the building, Brother Vincent Ali always support. You know what I'm saying? Melanie King, Eli, Brother Desaline when he stepped through. And you know what I'm saying? And on and on. I appreciate the brothers. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes Brother Genie sneaks in when y'all don't know. He sneaks back out with a straight black sock. Like the whole clan, you know what I'm saying? But y'all know me. I love the sisters. So I don't know what's happening. Like the sisters are not listening to the show. Other than, of course, Sister Najee. Now, some type of way, I can look, y'all know what I'm about to do. I'm about to blame it on Sister Najee. Some type of way, Sister Najee done intimidated the sisters and ran them off. I don't know how. Before they straight Black Friday, brother Kevin. I don't know how she did it. I don't know why they scared of her. You know what I'm saying? She said, "Here we go." Yep. So, because we were like 60-40 at one time. I don't know. And to be honest, I made SBL talk for the sisters. You know what I'm saying? And now all of a sudden, sisters like, nah, I'm good. So I don't know what it is. But I just had to get that off. And then I was going to talk about the Trump thing and I was going to talk about the NBA thing. But then I saw earlier that the Sonia Massey thing happened, right? So I haven't even got deep into it because I've been busy. I've been running around, and I ain't gonna lie to you. If you've never been in, I've been in. All right, let me tell you some of the places I've been. I've been in New York, of course. New York traffic is another animal because it's a fast-moving, horrible driving, terrible road traffic. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? People are speeding even when there's nowhere to go, driving reckless. Like they blind, and the roads is terrible, or at least that's how it was right before the pandemic. So I've been, but of course you got 8 million people, or 10, or 12, or 15, or however many it is now on the island. So, all right, cool, I understand that. I've been in Atlanta, right? And people be like, man, Atlanta traffic's bad. Atlanta traffic's pretty bad, but bruh, it's once you've been in New York and DC. It's like okay, this is moderately bad. DC rush hour traffic is just at certain spots. You just sitting there. You know what I mean? You're sitting there, and you're sitting there till you get to the light, and then you're sitting there, and then you can move, a few feet till you get to the next light, and it's like, bruh, this is a 15-minute. This is a 15-minute trip. It's going to take 45 minutes. And yeah, but once you're used to it, it's still, even when you're used to it, you're still just like, bro, why? So yeah. So now I'm finished ranting. I can actually start the show. So I heard, as far as the Sonia Massey thing, that's what we're going to talk about first. So this is going to be a general news show. You know what I'm saying? I didn't know what the charges were. But this is what I'm going to say, right? Look, I'm going to do a show next week that's probably going to get the whole channel deleted. Okay? So I'm pretty much gonna say whatever I want to say today, because next week the channel gonna get deleted. That's being 100. This is what I don't understand, right? And I know people will say, "You understand it?" Yeah, I understand, but I don't understand. I don't understand why the police are not held to the highest standard when it comes to criminality. And y'all gonna say, "No, DC, what you mean?" This is what I mean. You're the police, right? Your job as the police is to protect the public and serve the public. So in this case, with Miss Massey, right? She called the police. This is like some type of way they never talk about this part. She called the police because of a suspected prowler. How do you end up getting shot by the police when you call the police? Now, I know that police brutality is always a thing, and how people get shot down like dogs, and we should not call the police unless absolutely necessary. I get that. But a single sister by herself who hears something going bump in the night that don't have a man, I understand why she may call the police. But and listen, if the police cannot be held to a higher standard when they have training, allegedly, right? Like they're trained in the use of a firearm. Part of being trained in the use of a firearm, for anyone that's had to take a class in the use of a firearm, the safety part is the most important part. Depending on who your trainer is, they're gonna spend more time on safety than they are teaching you how to shoot anything. Because the first thing that they want to teach you how to do is not shoot yourself or your loved one, right? You know what I'm saying? That's more important than anything. Don't accidentally kill somebody. Don't accidentally kill yourself. Do not hold a gun this way. You assume all weapons are loaded, so forth and so on, right? Many of us have been through some type of weapons training, whether it's military, ironically, police, you know what I'm saying? Your with your armed security, just for your own home protect, whatever, right? So allegedly, you have weapons training, and allegedly, you got to know something about the law. I'm making an assumption now. Are they lawyers? No, they're not, because most of them ain't smart enough. Just be honest. But still. So, if you are trained in the law, and you are trained to handle a weapon, and you are trained allegedly to handle a weapon safely, then to me, you should be held to a higher standard than random person X, right? It's like random person X shoots someone. Should they be held to a high standard because they shot someone? Absolutely, right? You have to investigate. Was it self-defense? Well, all those types of things. We understand. We've been through the whole law thing. Okay, cool. Right. Okay. You're the police. It's your job to protect and serve, to protect the community. You commit a crime, whether it is assault, whether it is, in this case, murder, second degree, first degree, manslaughter, drug dealing, like whatever. Because let's be honest, the police, in my lifetime, there have been as many police scandals. There's more police scandals than I can remember. The Rampart scandal in LA, right? The Serpico scandal in that might have been before my time because the movie came out. So that probably was before my time. But the Serpico, I don't know what the name of the scandal was, in New York, right? They had a scandal in New York. They had multiple scandals in LA. Yeah, LA police basically they were another gang. the what's the name was dealing drugs, right? You had minor scandals where they find out the police was faking evidence and find out the police was stealing drugs out of not inventory, out of oh man, what's the word? Y'all help me out. But anyway, y'all get my point. So we've had all types of police scandals with the police doing all types of criminal activity. And they never hold them to the standard that they hold the public, but the people in the public aren't trained. The evidence locker. Thank you, brother. I don't understand this concept. This doesn't make any sense to me. It's complete and utter, you know what? And to be honest, it makes me want to vomit thinking about it. Because I'm gonna be honest, I've known a lot of police. Some black, some not black. Bruh, the number of police that I know that actually have good character, that's the minority. Like, for some reason, to protect and serve and have good character don't go together. I don't understand the concept of how somebody's gonna be. How are you gonna uphold the law when you got bad character? You know what I'm saying? Like that shows the type of society we're living in. So when some police person murders somebody, we're never surprised because we know these dudes don't got good character. And then in addition to that, a lot of them is suckers and cowards. They used to get beat up on the block. Then they want to get trained, lift some weights, take some steroids, and now they want to be, you know what I'm saying? They want to be thorough and want to run the dudes off the block that ran them off the block. So this is how we get the Sonia Massey thing, right? Because of them type of dudes. Because they not no thorough dudes, right? And then if you get some thorough dudes, what you get is some psycho that just went over there to Iraq and Iran and then killed a whole boatload of people for 5, 6, 7 years. And then they come back here and they're like, man, what am I going to do? You know what? I'll be the police. Oh, yeah, thanks. That's exactly what we need. This dude who, you know what I'm saying, who obviously is suffering from some type of psychological trauma from what happened overseas, and then you bring him back, give him a badge and a gun, and send him into the black community. And then we wonder, man, why are we getting shot up? Because you got a psycho running around with a badge and a gun. But don't nobody want to talk about it. Because, of course, Europeans have a different experience with the police because they a lot of times relate to the police before they straight black private brother Tony. So their experience with the police and our experience with the police is completely and totally opposite, right? So they don't see a problem. But then when we form organizations to defend ourselves, like the Black Panther Party for self-defense, then now it's a problem. Now we need gun laws. Now we need gun regulation. No, we don't. Second Amendment says that you can form a militia. So what? Black people formed a militia to protect themselves from being violated by people who are not following the law, even though they had a badge and a gun. Somehow, as black people, we don't think that it's still necessary to have these type of institutions in place. But then we want to complain about the police. And the brother, I think the brother Crow was saying, we got cops that are pedal. Man, look, let me tell you something. Let me keep it 100. The dudes that I have known that were police that were halfway decent, the stories they have about some of the other police, you know what I'm saying, make up for their halfway decency. You know what I'm saying? They will tell you how bad some of the dudes they work with are. Right? So they're halfway decent. They like, yeah, I'm all right. But this guy, you don't want him to pull you over. Or this guy is doing XYZ. Or this guy, I think, is on drugs because he be tripping. Or ABC 1, 2, 3. The stories I have heard for years, I'm talking about for decades now. It's crazy. And this is only in a couple of cities. This ain't covering the whole country. Like, I don't know nobody in LA that know cops, but I know about the criminal element within the LAPD. And then we had a whole, I played the clip a couple of times. We had a LA sheriff, or former LA sheriff, talking about he got recruited to sell drugs for CIA. But he turned them down. Now, how many people do you think turned him down? Him and probably one other dude. That's it. Everybody else that they recruited was with it. Let's just be real with it. Because you're gonna get money. Right? So that's my stance on so-called U.S. law enforcement. And can't nobody dispute my stance. And if y'all don't hear from me, y'all know that I walked out this place. I walked past a cop, and somebody sent a message to him, and he hit me upside the head, and he gonna say I was dizzy and fell down. You know what I'm saying? And I don't expect y'all to protest. I expect y'all to find who did it. Yeah, that's all I ask. You ain't gotta have no protest. You ain't gotta have no march. You ain't gotta publicly do nothing. Just use the internet what it's meant for, which is finding information. You know what I'm saying? That's it. So anyway, let's get into this article, because this show won't be on tomorrow, just from that rant. Let's see what the article. Okay, here we go. My bad. It says Sean Grayson murder trial. Former Illinois deputy guilty of murder. A jury has found a former Illinois sheriff deputy guilty of second-degree murder in the fatal shooting of Sonia Massey. The trial began last week for Sean Grayson, the former Sangamon County deputy, in the fatal shooting of Massey in July 2024, after she called 911 to report a possible intruder at her home in Springfield, Illinois. Grayson had been charged with a total of 3 counts in connection with Massey's death: first-degree murder, aggravated battery with a firearm, and official misconduct. He pleaded not guilty to all counts, his attorney told ABC News. Following the 7-day trial, the jury was given the option of considering second-degree murder, according to ABC WLS in Chicago. Grayson's sentencing is set for January 29, 2026. He could be sentenced to 4 to 20 years in prison or be given probation. The jury was instructed not to deliberate on the lower charges. Attorney Ben Crump, notorious ambulance chaser, and Antonio Romanucci, attorneys for Massey's family, said in a statement Wednesday that the verdict is still a measure of justice for Sonia Massey. They added accountability has begun, and we now hope the court will impose a meaningful sentence that reflects the severity of these crimes and the life that was lost. We will continue to fight for Sonia's family and for reforms that protect everyone from unlawful use of force. Let me stop right here. Right? Let me stop right here. Reform. Brother say, can y'all write? Yeah, sure. Absolutely. Long as y'all find who did it. Let me be completely honest. I've been in this movement since before Sean Bell was assassinated by the police, before Amadou Diallo, before Rodney King was. I don't know how Rodney King survived that beating. The number of black men, like the black woman thing, seemed like that's been a recent thing. And once they figured out they can get away with killing one black woman, it was like open season. I remember they killed that sister. I can never remember that sister's name, but I can picture her face. They killed that sister. She wasn't doing nothing. She was just outside with her friends. And she got his young sister, man. She got killed by some cop because he was mad about black people enjoying themselves, to be honest, man. And then just a number of sisters, a sister that was playing like video games with her nephew, and she got shot through the window or whatever. I mean, just, man, bro. I'm not gonna lie, I'm tired, man. I was tired. I'm tired from life in general. And then stuff like this, I'm just like, bro. I mean, I'm gonna just be honest, as a black man, Tatiana Jefferson, thank you, brother. They want to push us to the point. This. All right, let me tell you what next week's show is, so y'all understand. Next week's show is the American Bolshevik Revolution. That's next week's show. Okay, because I see it clearly now, like so clearly that I should be able to see it clearly because it's ongoing, but it's so in your face that I have to just put it out there, and then whatever happens, right? Because I had watched a little bit of a documentary, and then it was just like, it was, they were showing stuff from 100 years ago, but I'm like, this is now. You know what I'm saying? Well, Malcolm X say, just change the names. you know what I'm saying? You change the names, but it's the same process. So that's why it's so important for Black people to move wisely, because the goal is to allow for the grift, the theft, the corruption, and ultimately the destruction of America to take place, while the blame and the violence and all the things that go with a nation collapsing gets put off on someone other than the people who are causing the nation to collapse, right? So that's why in this time, we have to be wise, but we cannot be soft, right? That's what makes it dangerous. You can't be a ready victim, but you cannot react in a way. You have to respond and not react. You have to respond appropriately to the situation, right? And in doing that, you let people know who are going to be pointed against you that it's not sweet over here. So it's almost like incarceration. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's almost like the rules of incarceration. You have to let it be known that you can defend yourself, but you also have to understand who is who, so that you don't make an enemy of an overwhelming force. And that's what Black people are in America in this day and time, where there are forces that want to definitely put the most radical and violent extremes of Europeans up against Black people, and then have Black people respond in the way that we haven't responded in a while, but in a way that everybody knows we can respond. You know what I'm saying? So, and then if you get a force from Black people to respond to that initial force, that's where you have conflict between these two forces, and then the people who are instigating can continue to steal the wealth of America, continue to steal the military armaments from America, and continue to put America in deeper debt, destabilize the greetings to Sister Neff, destabilize the society as a whole. And you'll have the two forces too busy fighting to notice that in essence the ship is sinking. Because let's be honest, right now, as we speak, the great ship Titanic, aka America, the United States of America, is sinking. Not because of black people, as much as people hate black people. I'm sorry, I'm here to tell you, it's not black people's fault. Yeah, are black people doing stuff that I don't like personally? Absolutely. Are white people doing stuff that I don't like personally? Absolutely. Are Hispanic people and Asian and so forth and so on? All of the above. But guess what? None of those people are responsible for the collapse of the country as we speak. The people that are responsible for the collapse of the country are the same people that are responsible for the collapse of Tower Number 7, even though it wasn't hit by a plane. You see what I'm saying? Right? There's a reason why I did that show and I showed that video. What we didn't understand, or if y'all understood it, y'all smarter than me. What I didn't understand at the time is that the destruction of the towers was a ritual and a signal for the coming destruction of America. That's what 9/11 was. Plain and simple. And what's crazy is, y'all know how I always talk about movies and how the movies, they talk to each other on different levels and they put the information in the movie, and you know, sometimes you look back later on, or sometimes you see the movie and you be like, man, that's kind of crazy. I don't think they would do that. And yeah, they end up doing it. Back in, I believe it's 1997, there was a movie called The Long Kiss Goodnight with Samuel L. Jackson and I think her name is Gina Davis. Like very tall European female. She played it. In fact, this was weird. Later on, like maybe 10 years later or something, she played the president of the United States. Well, in this, she was an assassin. And in the middle of the movie, they talk about, yeah, we're going to do a terrorist attack. This is like supposed to be some intelligence, U.S. intelligence. We're going to do a terrorist attack, and then we're going to blame it on the Muslims. Samuel L. Jackson like, what? Why you going to do a terrorist attack and blame it on? Like, you know what I'm saying? He did less than 4 years before 9/11. Yeah, like everybody, you know, you can look at because people realize it now. It's all over the internet now. I say what's crazy is I saw the movie before 9/11. I didn't think about it for years after 9/11. I'm like, wait, what? What am I saying? What I'm saying is, literally, these people be telling us what's coming, and literally, what a lot of times what you have to do is that was just straightforward. But a lot of times you literally have to look at this movie over here and this movie over here and this movie over here and piece them together, and then you get the full message, right? Like I told y'all for a long time about the whole I told you about what was the movie? Out of Time, right? We headed there. That the out of time technology will be tapped into Palantir. And what's crazy is like my phone sent me an article on Palantir and NVIDIA working together, and I was like, oh no. So the number one chip maker and the number one surveillance program are working together. So they're gonna make sure that Palantir works. That AI is gonna work. Amazon Web Service, AWS. You said AWS been having outages for 2 weeks. Thanks for letting us know, brother. I did not know that. So I say all that to say that we are in a time where we're just going to see upheaval. We're just going to see craziness, for lack of a better word. And it's important to respond and not react. That's the best way I can put it. And the brother talking about stockpiling stuff. I'm gonna be honest. I can't speak for other places. I just went to the store. I just stopped at the store real quick. At least here, it's so bad that the lowest price stuff in the discount stores, the stuff that they're running out of. Like I had bought some stuff. I didn't realize, like literally, they have 2 products, right? Let's say it's a can of soup, and they got 2 products, and it's the soup that the store sells. But one of them, even though it's the same price, but one of them they sell for less because it's a new product, or whatever they sell it for less. Get all you can then, because when you come back, it ain't gonna be there. Because that's what I just found out. And this is a store that Europeans go to. You understand what I'm saying? I'm saying this is not the store in the hood that only black people go to. I'm talking about the store Europeans go to. The Europeans are buying the cheap stuff in DC, including the cheap alcohol. So like the cheap wine, if you a wine drinker, yeah, they done bought that too. Like whatever it is. Even during the pandemic, I didn't see that. I started seeing them since the pandemic go to the like the discount food store, right? So I was like, okay, yeah, things is changing because they in here. They wasn't in here. But to go into for white people in DC to go into the discount store and buy the discount stuff in the discount store is a sign that the economy is not going well. Right? Because those people are middle class. I talked to a European right before the shutdown, so I guess a month ago now or whatever. And he's talking about he got to move out of New York because he can't afford it. Like, and this is obviously looking at him, the way he was dressed, and the way his mannerisms, the way he spoke, the way his hair was styled. This is obviously a person who's not destitute. And he's talking about he got to leave his city because it's in essence the rent too high. Like, I don't know if y'all ever seen that dude in New York that he would run. His whole campaign was the rent's too high. Of course, he said it with more of a flair because it's a brother. White people talking about leaving New York because the rent too high. Come on, man. If white people think the rent's too high, what are black people in New York doing? I mean, first of all, you're already playing for some place that's small unless you got a penthouse. Depending on where you are, you're going to be battling rats. You're going to be battling Master Splinter. You know what I'm saying? I mean, New York used to be a fun place to visit. Never want to live there. Yeah, that's all I'm saying. And again, that used to be the best city, one of the best cities in the world. California used to be one of the best places in the world. California been going to hell in a handbasket for a decade now. I've been to LA. I had never been to the Bay. Been to LA, loved LA when I was out there. Man, LA, I'm good. I ain't even got to see it no more. Not like this. You know what I'm saying? So I'm saying the ship is sinking. The bad part is we chained to the bottom of the boat. That's the problem. We're chained to the bottom of the boat. But anyway, because I don't have beard completely off course. Let me get back to this article real quick. So the last thing I remember is Trump, who y'all know I don't like Trump, but anyway, James Wilborn, Massey's father, said at a press conference outside the courthouse after the trial that there was no doubt in his mind that Grayson committed first-degree murder. I'm sure there's no doubt in Sean Grayson's mind, but his attorneys were skillful enough. They said that my daughter was the aggressor. Let's start right here. Man, the idea that a little 5'3" woman could be the aggressor against an armed 6'2" European male, and she has a pot of water in her hand. It's got to be one of the goofiest discussions. Like, I'm gonna tell you the truth, lawyers don't have no shame. There was a time when I thought that I should have been a lawyer. I don't think so. Because there's a certain part of your character you gotta leave at the door. At least for you're a criminal attorney. Maybe for something else, maybe some other type of lawyers help people, but the stuff I be hearing criminal attorneys say, I'll be like, man, this dude can't. I know him believe this. ain't no way this dude believe this. Because what he's talking is some sheer nonsense right now. And in this case, their lawyer being able to say that he's I forgot the other. I keep forgetting the other cop was dead. Right. Yeah. Not only that, 2 cops with badges and guns, and she got a pot of water or whatever. That's what. I'm just being honest, man. That's why I try not to deal with them folks on no level. I try not to deal with, because I'm just being honest. It's a certain mentality to even take that job, and you just, people who don't like black people tend to be the people who take police jobs. You know what I mean? Like, there's no need for us to sugarcoat it. It is what it is. Hey, how many cops you heard say, man, I took this job because I love black people and I want to help protect their community? I ain't never heard that. I ain't saying it's never been said. I'm saying I ain't never heard it. In fact, to be honest, I don't care. I probably can count the number of times on one of my hands that I heard. In fact, I may not have ever heard a European say that they like black people. Have I heard like one gender say they like the opposite gender? So have I heard a European male say he like black females, or a European female say she like black males? Yeah, I heard that a lot, no question. Especially in this day and time, you hear it more. But like now that I'm sitting here thinking about it, it's just like, wait a minute, I ain't heard of no Europeans say they like black people. Right, so, and of course, it's no shock to us. And I'm not saying that they have to do it. Like, I'm not sitting here like, oh, they need to. I ain't saying that. I'm just saying, Sister Najee said, she said they say it all the time. See, it must be a different generation. I went to school with Europeans. There were more of us than there were of them. They still didn't say it. You know what I'm saying? Even the ones that were cool never said, you know what? I'm so glad I'm in this class because I love black people. That didn't happen. And to show you how, even if that were the case, how limited that is, when I was well, I skipped that story for another day. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna play this clip of the that's dealing with the verdict, and then I'm gonna close out my thoughts on this, and then we'll get to the next one. So let me put the pause on the music and run this clip.
We have breaking news in the Sean Grayson murder trial. There is a verdict.
The former Sangamon County Sheriff's deputy has been found guilty of second-degree murder. It took the jury almost 11 hours of deliberations to come to the decision in the shooting death of Sonia Massey. Our Brandon Morano is live at the courthouse in Peoria. Brandon, give us the very latest.
So, like you said, Sean Grayson has been found guilty of second-degree murder, not guilty on first-degree murder. Sentencing has been scheduled for January 29th in Sangamon County. Now, I want to tell you about Grayson's family and Massey's family entering the courtroom as before the verdict was read, rather. Grayson's family could be seen praying and almost hyperventilating in the courtroom before the verdict was read. Massey's family could be seen with tears streaming down their faces and holding hands before the verdict was read. Now, this morning, the jury finished deliberations after more than 11 hours, really. I was in the courtroom at 9 a.m. when the jurors addressed the room and explained deliberations were continuing. Ultimately, they had to decide if Grayson was justified or not in the shooting death of Massey. It happened in July of 2024 when she called for help regarding a prowler. Now, you may remember Grayson was initially charged with first-degree murder, aggravated battery with a firearm, and official misconduct. At the start of the trial, the judge dismissed the last two, leaving only 3 counts of first-degree murder. Then the option of second-degree murder was introduced by the defense. That's ultimately what the jury decided on. We're going to have a lot more updates and a press conference from Sonya Massey's family coming up momentarily right here in front of the courthouse. Jennifer.
Brandon, question. You talked about the emotions that you were seeing before the verdict was read. I want to start with, what were you observing when the verdict came down? What was Sean Grayson's reaction to that?
So Sean Grayson was sitting very still, very quiet on the defense table, seated next to his defense attorneys, Mark Wyckoff and Daniel Foltz. He was sitting quietly when the verdict was read, did not move, did not jump, didn't really react to it. His family, rather, after it was read, it could be heard sobbing right behind us. We were sitting right in front of them. Massey's family could be seen putting their heads in their hands and consoling each other. So that was really the emotions that we're going through. Very strong emotions on both sides, of this case. This has been a week long of trial and more than 11 hours of jury deliberation. So very emotional for everybody involved here. And before we came in, the court security officer, addressed the families, addressed the media, and said, this is going to be hard for everyone, and kind of got everyone ready before we entered that courtroom. Jennifer. There is heavy security outside of that Peoria County courthouse. We were seeing before, there are snipers on the roofs of buildings out there, a lot of police. Protesters have been out there for days. What is the feeling that you're getting from them now that there's a verdict? So the protesters were actually out here on the courthouse steps with a megaphone when we came out. They were saying, things like not guilty was not read, and that he has been found guilty. It is second degree, but that Grayson has been found guilty there. And right now they're back on the corner. They've been averaging about 20 to 25 a day out here, and I'd say that's probably where the numbers are right now as well. But right now we're just waiting for the Massey family and members of the defense and prosecution to come out and give statements.
All right, Brandon, thank you so much. And as he said, the Massey family will be holding a news conference shortly, and we will bring you that live when that happens.
Until then, we will send you back to regular programming.
All right, so that was the report, and I think Sister Najee said something. She said they want to be hold up. Sister Najee, she got two things. She says, Europeans be pressed to be around us because we're more lit. They ain't nothing. Well, they don't be pressed to be around us. They be pressed to be around Negroes because Negroes don't get lit. But you got ripped off. Says it was a cop from Little Rock that was married to a Negress that had huge internet fame for dancing with black people. But he's retired because he assaulted his wife, and now they discovered that he's a pedo, preying upon the children of the same Negroes. They held him as good white. I mean, I'm gonna just be honest, man. How can I put it? I'm gonna just be honest. If black people were to pick a religion, I would give black people the old Nation of Islam teachers, not this new stuff, the old stuff, the old Elijah Muhammad teachers. You know why? Because you would never trust Europeans. Right? You would never trust Europeans. Are there some flaws in that ideology? Absolutely. But guess what? You never trust Europeans. So then you don't have to worry about your children being violated. And in fact, let's just be honest. Even though much of the program picked up from the pieces of garbage, the psychology of what was taught convinced black people to do something for themselves, something that you can't get black people to do right now because, number one, they funnel the money to certain black people and they make sure that those black people they can't do nothing. And sometimes it's in their contract. But Sister Najee says this just in. Pentagon has ordered the National Guard to create quick reaction forces in every state and territory by January that are trained and equipped to deal with riots and civil unrest. You know what that means? If you're creating a force to deal with riots and civil unrest, that means you're going to create a problem that's going to cause riots and civil unrest. Now, there's a lot of stuff going on. So I've been thinking that in the last year of Trump's term, they were going to crash the economy, and then they were going to use that as an excuse to create the digital dollar, erase the national debt, and then get everybody into the system using the digital dollar and Palantir, and then you're under surveillance. Have I talked about that before? Y'all let me know, because if not, then I got to go into a whole show about that. But apparently my timeline was off. Because if he needs people ready by January, then he's expecting a long, hot summer in 2026. Brother Safo said, I just use AI and other films that foretold 9/11 or Final Destination and The Lone Gunman. I've never seen or heard of The Lone Gunman. Final Destination plane explosion in New York. And The Lone Gunman aired 6 months before 9/11. Plane hitting the World Trade Center. And the siege. Yeah, I heard about the siege. And Sister Najee said they said Trump would be the last president. I didn't know we wouldn't get at least a full 4-year term. Yeah, I was expecting Agenda 2030 to kick off in 2030, but it looks like they're speeding up the timeline. Which all of this means one thing. What they call the great noticing has been noticed by those who have been noticing. And if you want to know the great noticing is that a lot of people noticing that a certain group of people just so happen to be involved in a lot of negative things around the world. That's why it's called the great noticing, because people are starting to notice. And that means that they are working their way through Trump to make sure that people do not resist the next phase of trickery, devilishment, and evil that they planted. And I'm just frustrated because they just ahead, time-wise, they just a step ahead. And it's hard to get our people organized. And I don't care what no one says. Something about the whole pandemic has people lethargic, for lack of a better word. Okay, this is look. I could go into it, but I want the show to last till next week. You know what I'm saying? About what I think it is. In fact, I probably got video on what I think it is. I probably got video where a doctor explaining it, but it's like they're full speed. I guess what they're doing, they're so successful at it. They're like, hey man, let's speed it up. Let's get it popping. Let's get it done. Because these people just, let's think about it, all right? You got genocide. They've just pulled off a genocide in Gaza. Live streaming it. That's what's crazy. Right? It's been live streamed. Everybody know it because people see it. It's like the U.S. denying the New Orleans thing. Like, we see the people. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't say that we don't see what we see. So they pulled off a genocide. They're going to steal the land and make it some type of tourist spot. And then I saw that not only they're gonna make it a tourist spot, but they're getting special exempt taxation for billionaires when they finish doing it. I guess I gotta do a video on that. That wasn't what we supposed to talk about today, right? Now I'm hearing that they're funding. This is what's crazy. Israel's working with the UAE to build a weapons plant, and they're also funding either one or both of the sides in Sudan. I know I talked about that before. And they're getting ready for, Iran thinks they're getting ready for war, that Israel getting ready to attack them again. So they have bought up, Iran just like, not this time. They are buying up everything they can from China and Russia. They're getting all the anti-aircraft stuff in place. So apparently that's going to kick off anytime now. And I can only suspect that that's going to kick off. The U.S. is going to get involved. So by next year, the U.S. could be involved in 2 wars at the same time. Basically, in Iran and in Venezuela. Now they think the Venezuela thing is going to be sweet and can end early. However, I could have sworn I just saw China say that they got Venezuela's back. So if China got Venezuela's back, that changes the chessboard completely. Brother Crow, you said the data centers, yeah, that's a whole nother subject. You know what? I know, Brother Crow, man, you just made me think about it. I need to interview Brother Darren one time. I have never even thought about interviewing a brother. He got so much information. I need to interview him. It never occurred to me till you just said it. Now it's just like, So that's an idea. Brother, you got ripped off said, yes, China did, brother. So that's a whole different dynamic. Like, let me just be honest, from a geopolitical perspective, the idea that the United States can go up against a combined Russia and China is a joke. Like, I don't know what people think. Listen, China got 1 billion people, and they got like 200 million young, angry, not getting no action from their men, who I'm sure would not mind going to another country to kill some people and to get some foreign women because they ain't getting no action at home. I'm just being completely honest. Like, that's what's going on in China. Like, China and Japan, the feminism that we see, that we complain about, here's the difference. Yeah, do our women go on the internet and talk about us like dogs? Absolutely they do. But guess what? In the grand scheme of things, when all is said and done, black women still falling on their back for some brothers somewhere. Okay, because we still reproducing. In China, they ain't even talking bad about them. They just ain't getting with them. The women just ain't getting with the men. They ain't even talking bad about them. You know what I'm saying? They ain't coming on the internet talking bad. They just keeping it over there private. Just like, nah, we good. Now in Korea, in South Korea, yeah, they mouthing off and all that stuff. But in China and Japan, the women just like, nah, we all right. I'm good. That's why they can't. That's why their reproduction going down, because the women don't want the men. So yeah, we complain about our women. Our women are just talking. You know what I'm saying? In the grand scheme of things, are things good between black men and black women? No. Is it black men or black women's fault? Some of both. Is there another force involved? Absolutely, because if it wasn't, why all of a sudden men and women in China can't get along? You ain't never heard about that in 3,000 years. Men and women in Korea can't get along. In Korea can't get along. We ain't never heard about that. men and women in Japan can't get along. We ain't never heard about that. Men and women in Europe can't get along. Well, we all heard about that, but they usually come together when necessary. Look, the whole manosphere thing started with European men. Now who never seem to have a problem with that woman, even though they send that woman out to be send her out on missions to retrieve DNA from other races. Y'all know who I'm talking about. Well, you got Red said Singles Day in China is the most commercially successful holiday. So you see confusion and discord confusion and discord and disagreement and dislike between the genders all over the planet. I wonder why. You starting to see it in Africa. With sisters in Uganda talking about how much they like European males. Publicly, blatantly, mad disrespect. Right? I remember when Brother Jeannie told me, I was like, huh? Like, man. I think he was speaking. And the woman's like, oh, do we have to get up our white men? We love our white men. In Uganda, you love your white men. Man, listen. Come on, man. You think this is a coincidence? This insanity? Worldwide? Globally? Look, let me pause for a minute, get myself together. I'm gonna play this video for this brother. We got an advertisement from our brother, Brother Elijah. His book is out now. He's an author. He's an engineer. He has good character. You know what I'm saying? Spectacular brother. And ladies, I don't know. I don't think he's married yet. You know what I'm saying? So, good man, super intelligent, well raised. I know his family. This is a great young man. So, he has a book that he has out, and check out this ad real quick, and then I'll be back.
All right. Good morning, everyone. My name is Elijah Lewis. I'm coming from you at the Springfield Town Center in Springfield, Virginia for the Fall Expo. But I want to take a minute to tell you about my book, Your Jewels Are in Your Journey, Life Lessons to Get You Optimal Self. This book is about giving us the tools we need to be our optimal self as we go about our journey. I tell everybody is that we're all on a journey. So on that journey, we learn that life lessons are jewels. The people that we connect with to be better and inspire us along the way are jewels. And above all, you find out that you yourself are a jewel. Because if you don't know who you are, it's hard to know where you're going. So if you're interested in learning more about me and my book or my motivational speaking, I speak on topics such as freedom from life's addictions, the reality of your vision, and many other topics. So if you want more information, go to my website, www.elijahlewis.org. You can get your copies, book with motivational speaking, and above all, see where the journey takes you. And at the end of the day, may you find many jewels on your journey and continue to be the jewel that you are. Thank you.
All right. Thank you to Brother Elijah for filming that, putting that out, writing that book, and giving us that information. And if you got the money, support the brother, please. We're trying to build a community here where we support each other. Y'all know I always ask y'all for support. By the way, I am next week, by the end of next week, hopefully, I will have 3 or 4 of my videos set edited, polished up, and ready to go. And I'll start putting together the advertisement for that. The way things are looking, my lecture career is probably over. So unless something changes. So these will be historic. These will be pieces of history. You know what I'm saying? And of course, we have the two Dr. Collett lectures, the Dr. Francis Cress Wilson lecture, the Dr. Chancellor Williams lecture, and also the COVID-19, the two parts of the COVID-19, and I forgot the name of the lecture, but it's about COVID. And there's one more. We exist because we resisted. Some of the hidden history of resistance in America, Black resistance in America. And there is one more. It's one more lecture I can't remember. So yeah, I just dug through the archives and I found this stuff and I was like, oh, forgot about that. So I want to get that out to the people. It's a learning tool. You can show your family. It's interesting. And what's interesting is because the different lectures were done over the years, you can kind of see my transformation back and forth over the years. So that's that. Let me get to the next subject because I'm leaving here. I'm getting off of here at 8. I didn't feel that great, but it was so necessary to talk about. When I saw the Sonia Massey thing, I wanted to talk about that. So, what I'm not going to get to, weirdly enough, I'm not going to get to, I don't think I'm going to get to the NBA thing. Let me just say this about the NBA thing. So, the NBA, several NBA players and coaches involved in a gambling situation. I'm sure most of you have heard about it. If you heard about it, put a 1 in the chat for me. Chauncey Billups, who I remember from playing with the Detroit Pistons, who everybody always says a solid dude. He's been caught up in it. And some other people, I can't remember the names. I'll look it up and get into it further on another show. But allegedly they were involved with La Cosa Nostra, the 5 families in New York. Now, I thought that the 5 families had been not totally destroyed, but mostly neutralized. And apparently that's not the case. And so, of course, everyone has noticed that we know about Chauncey Billups and Damon Jones and, some other people. But no La Cosa Nostra. Now think about it. This is a criminal organization. No members of a criminal organization. The people who had no criminal record prior to this situation and still have no criminal record, they're simply under arrest. The people with no criminal record have been marched out in front of the people. Their pictures have been splashed all over the place, right? But the criminals, the people who you can bring RICO charges against, the people who are part of an ongoing criminal conspiracy going back generations, right? We ain't got no pictures of them. Has anyone, y'all let me know. You put a 2 in the chat if you have seen pictures of the mafiosos who are behind this conspiracy. Because again, Chauncey Billups is not behind the conspiracy. Damon Jones is not behind the conspiracy. Whoever else, other random black person, they're not behind the conspiracy. They said the 5 families is behind the conspiracy. But I ain't seen the pictures of, you know what I'm saying? Chin Gigante is dead. You know what I'm saying? What's the name? Gambino is dead. So his son or grandson, the nephew or whoever, I ain't seen no pictures of none of them people. Why are the black men the face of the crime when the orchestrators of the crime is not the black men? Well, that's a rhetorical question. So I was going to get into that. I might get into that later, but I want to talk about this because, first of all, y'all got to think you got ripped off of this part. Oh, yes, they could. Because, for example, Lucky Luciano was Jewish. In fact, I wanted to buy a book. I wanted to buy a book. It was, in essence, it was about Jewish gangsters. I can't remember the name of the book. This was some years ago when I was collecting books, and the book was like it was a book on the Jewish mafia and the different connections, right? Because different parts of the five families had either Jewish people in it, or they always had like a Jewish lawyer, a Jewish banker, a Jewish accountant. Like, you know what I'm saying? So even if the heads weren't Jewish, the people who did the business was Jewish, right? And I think if I'm not mistaken, Lucky Luciano and Dutch shows are Jewish. But I wanted to get this book because I was like, whoa, hold up. I never heard about this at the time. Like, I never knew. Man, that book was like $800. You know what I'm saying? I was like, man, what kind of information is in here? The idea that Jewish people have an ongoing criminal conspiracy and this is how some of these families made their money, and in order to go legit doing other stuff, we don't never hear that. In fact, if you really, here's what's deep about America. The only two people who've never been able to turn their criminality into legitimate business enterprise have been black people and Irish people. And you know why Irish people didn't do it? Because they became the law enforcement. That's why. that's the only reason. The Irish people became the law enforcement. They like, wait a minute. This job is open. Right? Who was the original law enforcement? The slave catchers. So the Irish people were like, you know what I'm saying? The Irish people were like the third class citizens of Europe. They said, oh, so all we got to do to be accepted is to catch them? Cool, no problem. I'm with it. It's plain and simple. Like, so when Irish people be trying to run up and say, you know, basically like we used to be enslaved to or whatever, yeah, not so fast, my friend. You know what I'm saying? There's a reason why they play those bagpipes when an officer expires. There's a reason. Like, if we see, with me, we're going to keep it real. We got to keep it real. We're going to tell the truth. We got to tell the whole truth. Don't tell the truth just benefit you. Tell the truth. All of it. The complete and total truth. And that's why John Henry Clark said we have no friends. We definitely have no friends. As black people have no friends. Can black people have allies? Yeah, because alliances are not permanent. Like, let's be honest. Like, we always forget. Britain and America had a couple of wars. Now they're allies. Sister Naja, you're not supposed to spill them beans yet. Not supposed to spill them beans yet. But yeah, that email is out. So at least I don't think we're supposed to spill them beans yet. But anyway, yeah. It is possible that a certain Mr. Aoki Mati might be making an appearance in the next couple of weeks. I can't guarantee it, but it's possible because he got something to say. So I'll let you all know if and when that's finalized. So let me talk about this, and then I'm gonna get off of you. So I talked about, or I asked y'all, at least I think. Thank you, Sister Najee. I talked about, or maybe I didn't. Did I talk about Trump and Maduro and all that? If not, let me just get into it. So I was paying attention to Trump, and he's saying, talking that narco terrorist talk, and next thing I know, they blowing up boats, and I'm like, what is happening? Then they got a big giant aircraft carrier, and I'm just like, oh, wait, what is going on? So the standard discussion is, so Trump and them are going after the oil. And I'm like, okay, the oil's been there. The oil's gonna be there. Venezuela got oil. Why is he pressed to do this now? That was my question. Right? I'm like, okay, why is he? And like, he's pressed. And so they making up the whole like I said, the narco terrorist thing, and then talking about stopping drugs. And I'm like, look, I'm not a drug dealer, but I know the fentanyl is not coming from Venezuela. I just know that. And then I went and looked it up, and other people like, the fentanyl is not coming from Venezuela. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, okay, this is no longer my opinion. At worst, it's the opinion of multiple people, right? So I'm like, all right. So they're lying, which ain't no shot. But I'm like, why? And then, brother, you got ripped off. Said, hey, man, check out this article. So let me bring up the article. Let me see. Can I bring up the article you actually sent? I think this is the one. This is from the Times of Israel. Top Venezuelan opposition figure asks Jewish expats to return to Venezuela. Huh? Maria Corina Machado thanks Netanyahu for recognizing Juan Guaido as the interim president. Says she hopes many who were forced to leave will now come back to rebuild the nation. This is 2019. So apparently, Maduro forced out Israelis from Venezuela. Right? Who knew? I'm like, Israelis or Jewish people? Like, if you say there are Jewish families in Venezuela that have been there in essence since the country was founded, I was like, oh yeah, of course. I know that. I read Secret Relationship Between Blacks and Jews. I know that. I know they came to Brazil, they founded Brazil. I know that. You know what I'm saying? But I didn't put it together. And bro, you got ripped off. Say the answer was so much in your face. Yeah, because it starts getting ridiculous, bro. Yeah, like, you gotta admit, you start sounding crazy because you're like, they did it, and people like, you always blame them, and you're like, yeah, you're right, yeah, that's wild. They can't be in everything. However, I mean, Adam Silver is the head of the NBA. That's all I'm saying. Yes, Adam Silver. I'm not making this up. So yeah. This is definitively the reason. As we go through these articles, this isn't a person who kinda likes Israelis. This is a I love Netanyahu, he's so great type of person, which means exactly. You know what I'm saying? It's all in the family. So again, because I've told y'all that Mr. Trump is being blackmailed, and I played you it wasn't Colonel McGregor, who basically is like my favorite European on geopolitical stuff. It was, I can't remember the guy's name, but he basically was like, I'm pretty He didn't say it 100%, but he's like, I'm pretty sure the president's being blackmailed. Well, if the president is being blackmailed and the president is in charge of the military, well, it would explain if he's using the military to do something that doesn't really make sense in any other way. Right? And here's the thing, because now, remember, Jared Kushner, his son-in-law, is the one in charge of the turning Gaza into like a new Las Vegas. Trump's son-in-law came up with that plan before October 7th. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, right, exactly. Before October 7th. Before they came, so he came up with that plan. October 7th happens. They level all of Gaza, and now all you gotta do is bulldoze everything, including the dead bodies, and build on the dead bodies. And Trump is gonna get a piece of the money because he's a real estate developer, in quotes, air quotes. So that's where he's gonna get his money. That's one of the places he's gonna get his money from when he leaves office. It's from Gaza. One of the other places he's gonna get his money from is with this Palantir thing. One of the other places he's gonna get his money from, apparently, is this Venezuela thing. So basically, they offered him money or a bullet. He took the money. John F. Kennedy got the bullet. Oh, that's what I'm saying. Right? Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. He won't be in office. This is all post presidential money that he's getting. All these business deals post presidential, but he's putting them in place now, which means either one or two things is going to happen. Either J.D. Vance is going to be the next president, or the next president is who I think is going to be. I just don't know the name, because it's not going to be the person I think it's going to be, but it's going to be y'all know who it is. It's going to be the representative of these people. I think they tired of messing around. They're going to get directly to the point. Because this is what I found out. The president of Argentina. Oh, I forgot about that. Y'all know about the Argentina thing, right? If you know about the Argentina thing, put a 1 in the chat. For those that don't know, Trump just gave $40 billion. So only Brother Crow know. Okay, I'm gonna have to pull that up. All right, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna run the Lost Tapes advertisement in a moment, and I'm gonna bring up that article on the 40 billion, and y'all won't believe this, man. Y'all won't, well, maybe y'all will. When I'm looking this stuff up, I didn't believe it. I'm just like, come on, man. It is exactly. So, I mean, this stuff is just, it's ridiculous. It is. Listen, I'm going to, y'all watch the article. Y'all watch the advertisement. Show it to your friends. The tapes, Lost Tapes are still available. If you don't have the complete set, you can still purchase it. Y'all know how it works. And I'm going to bring up these articles, man, so we can talk about this stuff. So give me a second.
Now, we're going to go and talk about AIPAC. What is AIPAC? The American Israel Public Affairs Committee. AIPAC. What does AIPAC do? AIPAC is the gangster with a whole lot of money that says, I'm gonna buy you and pay you money, and you're gonna make decisions that I want you to make. You're gonna do as I tell you, because I got my hands in your pockets. And they attached to people like Jeffrey Epstein, who take videos of the people that are supposed to be our representatives, and as they take those videos, they hold them hostage and say, vote as I tell you to vote. Do as I tell you to do.
Has anybody watched the videos of the kind of murder that they're doing to the Palestinians? Raise your hand if you've seen any of the videos. Raise them high so I can really see. All right, so then y'all will know. People who haven't seen it, it's gonna sound like I'm exaggerating. I need you all to confirm what I'm saying is true, the ones that have seen it. I'm black. I don't even like Arabs, to keep it real. I mean, I have a history as an African with the Arabs. I ain't gonna lie, man. Arab or no Arab, man, what they doing, yo, it's men walking around. I ain't never seen that, like, to be real. They're holding their child, full body, and the body is jet black burnt, and it doesn't have a head. And he's like screaming and crying for his child. Who's seen the stuff that I'm talking about? Some of these things. They have children walking around with their face, half this part of their face is just hanging like to here. It's like, I can't describe it. It's like the face is off. And it's like one half of their face is there and the other half of their face not there. And the child is sitting there trying to, they can't scream because they don't have out. You see burnt children, like they go in and burn them, and you go and they're showing the people it's just nothing but, you can tell us, you almost think it was like an animal, but you can see the features of a child. Right. The kind of genocide, like they're playing games where they tell them, come here for food, and when they come there for food, they start picking them off and shoot them and kill them. Right. But they're filming it, so if you get on the channels to see the stuff, it's so horrific. I'm trying to think. It will remind you, we've seen the lynching of our ancestors, right? Without sanctuary. Imagine taking without sanctuary and actually seeing it while it's happening, while they're lynching somebody. But not just the one person in the picture, the whole book at the same time on the same day.
We looked in the past, 1972. I was born in 1973. I'm almost 50 years old. I'll be 50 in December. A year before I got here, they must have known I was coming. They said, let's get this thing out here now before you get here. They did what's called a Gay Rights Platform of 1972. This is just official document, sharing information. If you read, go look it up online for yourself. They're making it difficult to find. I don't know if people have been noticing this, but things that you used to easily go and put it on the internet and find them, you can't find this stuff no more. I mean, there's a bunch of stuff you can't find. But I'm gonna bring your attention to just one. It's a bunch of stuff, all of it's aimed at children. Sex education for children, adoption, gay adoption of children. But there's one that's most important for what we're talking about today. And they break it down from the federal level and the state level. On the state level, they say every single state, they want laws repealing all laws governing the age of sexual consent. I'm gonna say that again. They want the repeal of all laws governing the age of sexual consent. Meaning a newborn baby, they want it to be legal to have sexual contact with a newborn baby. What year did I say? 1972. That's 51 years ago. Fast forward 21 years from then to 1993. In the interest of producing that result, they had right downtown, I mean, 30 minutes, not even 30 minutes if there's no traffic, go right up here East Capitol, go all the way up the road, you run right into it. They had the 1993 Gay Rights March on Washington. Let's see what that was about.
We're gonna rule the world. We're gonna rule the world.
Check one.
Did y'all hear what they just said? Do I need to play that again? He don't play it again. He said, no, thank you. All right, I want to do this again. They said, we're young, we're queer. We're going to do what? We're going to rule the world. Now remember, 21 years before that, what did they say that they wanted for children? Repeal all laws governing the age of sexual consent. They want to have sex with children and make it totally legalized. 21 years after they said that, they said, we're young, we're queer, we're going to rule the world. That was in 93. This is 30 years after that. So they've had 30 years to say we're queer, we're going to rule the world, which at that point they said, we haven't gotten to the point where we rule the world, because if they did, they wouldn't be saying that. They would say, we're young, we're queer, and we rule the world. They didn't say that. We're young, we're queer, we're going to rule the world and have it our way.
Something that's not talked about enough. Everybody needs to get a copy. We have them out here today. Get your packet. His name is J. Bart Klassen, MD, medical doctor. He worked directly with Anthony Fauci in '88, as far back as 1988. Thank you. And what he talks about, the title of his article, a peer-reviewed article, COVID-19 and illegal bioweapons activity and insiders' revelations. What does J. Bart Klassen say? I'll just read this one line here. Israel never signed the 1972 Biological and Toxin Weapons Convention, and the author provides evidence to indicate the Mossad, which is the Israeli CIA, using U.S. human and material assets in running a large genocidal bioweapons attack on the world. He has a peer-reviewed study where he shows the information as an insider working there that this whole pandemic was orchestrated by Jews as a massive culling and killing and murder of people on this planet.
All right, brothers and sisters, we are back for our last 20 minutes or so. And yeah, that information, our class and information, I don't know nobody except our good brother who would literally call up to the doctor and say, hey, did you put this article out? Is this true? Is this factual? And get the person to talk. Like, you know, he should have been an investigative journalist, you know what I'm saying? So let me, Brother, you got Rico said you just found out the U.S. gets beef from Argentina. Yeah, I knew that. It said it's imported 1.4 metric tons. Yeah, I knew that. Now, it says, why is Trump giving Argentina $40 billion? So let me stop right here. Man, if you hear some Europeans sitting around bumping their gums talking about people that get worried about SNAP need to get a job and this and that, listen, a lot of people on SNAP, the ones that aren't babies or elderly or disabled, which is a significant portion, the rest of the people gotta work. That's the problem. The people are working and they still can't afford food. I know that they put this idea in the minds of the goofy, you know, the people that think they're educated, but they ain't. They think that people are not working. That's the problem. Like, so a lot of the states, because this stuff was put into place when Bill Clinton was in office, working with Newt Gingrich back in 1996 or so, that there is a work that requirement to receive the benefits. And people and these mega corporations are hiring people, paying them low wages, and so you sitting around working 40 hours a week. Well, no, because a lot of times they don't want you to get health care, so they got you working 32 to 36 hours a week, right? They keep you from getting the full benefits that the job claim they have, except nobody's working 4 hours except maybe the management. And because you're not getting the full hours, and because the pay rate isn't on par with what you need to survive in the city you live in, like the brother said, especially you working somewhere like Walmart, you sitting around working 32 hours a week, 36 hours a week, and what's usually happening is you're working 32 hours a week at one job, you're working 16 at another, and you still need your SNAP benefits to buy you some food. So you working 48 hours a week hustling backwards, because if you could at least work one job and get the overtime, you would make no more money, then you won't need the SNAP benefits. But anybody that's worked 2 BS jobs before know what I'm talking about. The difference between working all your hours at one job and getting your overtime and working, trying to work, piece the meal together 2 jobs, man, it's not even, come on, man. It's crazy. And then, to be honest, depending on where you are with the tax rates, the way they tax the you know what out of your overtime, it will make you not want to work overtime no more. But this ain't a labor discussion today. You know what I'm saying? But I've been seeing goofy people sit around saying that stuff. I'm just like, yo, I just missed the days when people didn't know what they were talking about, they would not talk. I missed them days. Because people got opinions and they don't know jack. But let's go here. It says the Trump administration is talking about using $40 billion to bail out a foreign country, Argentina. I ain't talking about $8 billion. So why is Trump abandoning his so-called America First stance to help a foreign leader? And who exactly is Argentina's President Javier Milei? I guess that's how you say it. Whose nickname is Whose nickname is the Madman, and who calls himself an anarcho-capitalist, and who was the inspiration for Elon Musk's federal cuts and chainsaw stunts. Oh, wow. Okay. This is a story that involves election meddling, brutal anti-worker austerity, economic crises, corrupt corporate payouts, and of course, crypto scams. Oh, well, this is going to be an interesting article. Trump has bet a lot on Milei. The right-wing Argentine president is one of Trump's closest allies on earth. That's scary. They have a lot of similarities. Like Trump, Milei won the election by cynically portraying himself as a populist, even though he chose the rich banker Luis Caputo to serve as his powerful finance minister after he made a fortune trading stocks for the mega bank JP Morgan. All right, I need to look and see who Luis Caputo is, because anyway, Trump and Milei have both carried out similar corrupt schemes. Like the U.S. president and his shady Trump coin, Milei scandalously promoted a meme coin rug pull that caused his own supporters to lose billions of dollars in what became the biggest ever crypto theft. Wow, didn't know that part. Milei was likewise very close to the world's men, the centi-billionaire Elon Musk. That means the dude is worth more than $100 billion. We got people out. Let me get to the article. In fact, Milei inspired Musk to launch his failed Department of Government Efficiency, or Doge. I call it doggy, but whatever. And when Trump signed an executive order vowing to dismantle the Department of Education, he was echoing Milei. It's important to note as well that Elon Musk has a vested economic interest in Argentina. Why? The electric cars made by his company Tesla needed lots of lithium for their batteries, and Argentina just so happens to have some of the largest lithium reserves on Earth. Okay, Trump's getting paid. Trump's getting paid from Musk he has an interest in this. All right. So what exactly is happening in Argentina, and what does Milei need to be bailed out? The crisis actually goes back to 2018 when the first Trump administration pressured the IMF. No, they didn't. They don't pressure the IMF. The IMF does the pressuring. Pressure them. He probably suggested that they increase the loan that they was already going to give them to give the biggest loan in history, a staggering $57 billion, to the conservative president of Argentina at the time, Mauricio Macri, who was a wealthy business partner and personal friend of Trump. And what is going on? What is it? Huh? So now I got to look him up. The goal of this previous bailout was to stabilize Argentina's economy and reduce inflation in the lead up to the 2019 election when Trump wanted Macri to win. But the IMF loan instead provided dollars needed to fund capital flight. This meant that the wealthiest people in Argentina simply converted their pesos to dollars, stashed the money offshore accounts, and left the poor even poorer. Boy, man. Now, despite Trump's meddling, his friend Macri was very unpopular and he lost. But the new administration that followed was left with an enormous unpayable debt owed to the IMF. And then the pandemic hit, causing the economic crisis. Man, poor people can't win for losing. This is where Javier Milei comes in. He exploited the economic crisis and won the next election on false promise to solve all Argentina's economic problems by simply gutting the government spending. We've heard this before. Mere hours after he assumed the presidency of Argentina, he abolished half the government ministries, including the ministries of education, transportation, environment, employment, and social security, science and technology, etc., etc., etc. He laid off huge numbers of government work. I mean, this sounds exactly like Trump. He implemented the Trump plan before Trump implemented the Trump plan. All of this resulted in rampant poverty and hunger. Official government statistics published in 2024 found that 53% of Argentina's population was living in poverty, including 66% of children under 14. This is part of the global Bolshevik revolution. Now, you want to know, well, DC, okay, you telling me that this guy is a crook and he sucks at government, but so what? All right, you want to know who Javier Milei is? Argentina's president, Javier Milei, wins the 2025 Jewish Nobel Prize. Now, I can't make this stuff up. Genesis Prize Chairman Stan Holovitz praises Milei's support for Israel, achievements in reforming Argentina's economy, in pursuit of justice for AMIA terror victims. Today, the Genesis Prize announces President of Argentina, Javier Milei, as the 2025 Genesis Prize laureate, the first time the award, known as the Jewish Nobel Prize, has been bestowed upon a head of state. Let us all pause. Look, this stuff sounds crazy until you just bring up the evidence. So if you want to know why Trump is giving this dude $40 billion to bail out his completely failed and ridiculous economic plan, look, they're giving him an award and they're citing him reforming the economy. All he did is steal the money from the poor people and give it to the rich people. And they gave an award for it. Man, you can't make this stuff up. Anyway, Milei was the unanimous choice of the 9 judges on the committee, which commended him for his unequivocal support of Israel during one of the most difficult times since the founding of the Jewish state. President Milei recently announced his decision to move the Argentinian embassy to Jerusalem, has reversed years of anti-Israel votes by Argentina in the United Nations, and has pledged to bring culprits responsible for the AMIA and Israeli embassy bombings in Argentina in 1992 and 1994, respectively, to justice. Okay, I don't know anything about that. Just last week, Malone ordered declassification of intelligence regarding the unexplained death of Alberto Nisman, the special prosecutor responsible for the AMIA, bombing investigation. Former Argentine President Cristina Fernandez de Kirchner is presently being tried for obstructing the investigation for her government's controversial 2013 memorandum with Iran, which shielded the accused terrorists and lifted Interpol alerts intended to arrest them. The planned relocation of Argentina's embassy to Jerusalem is in sharp contrast to the actions of several other South American countries, which cut diplomatic ties with Israel and recalled their ambassadors over the massacre in Gaza. And it's not a war, it's a massacre. Shortly after the start of hostilities, they said initiated by Hamas, but of course Charlie Kirk said they knew about it and let it happen. Shout out to Charlie Kirk for telling the truth right before he, leaned in front of a bullet. Bolivia severed diplomatic ties with Israel, accusing them of carrying out pointing out crimes against humanity. While Chile and Colombia recalled their ambassadors as they criticized the Israeli military offensive against women and children, because that's who they killing, is women and children. I know they killing women and children because I seen the video of them killing women and children. So y'all can stop the cap with this. What you're saying is a bunch of improper propaganda. Now, Trump is bailing out the secretly Jewish president of Argentina and giving him $40 billion, of which is going to go to him and his cronies and to other rich people to make them richer while the people starve to death. Yep. It's so bad that this guy thinks that this whole idea sucks. He says earlier this week, the United States signed an agreement with Argentina for a $20 billion swap line to be augmented with additional $20 billion provided by private sources, which means that the private sources are buying parts of the country. The objective is to prevent the collapse of the peso that would derail the country's disinflation program and trigger a defeat of President Javier Milei's party in the upcoming congressional elections. This bailout is a terrible idea. Hands over $40 billion in U.S. public and private funds to Argentine speculators with only a meager chance of repayment for, at best, a short-lived stabilization of Argentina's economy. But if the Trump administration is hell-bent on handing over the cash to its political allies in Argentina, it should at least do it right by using the funds to finance full dollarization. Hey, man. No, you said it first. This is a bad idea. And if you're determined to do it, you should get the blame for doing something that's a horrible idea. Nah, don't give them any good ideas to make a horrible idea less horrible. Let's just let's just point out that it's a horrible idea. And so this is what I'm saying. All right, and it's almost 8 o'clock, so I'm running over. How can people who claim to be America first, and maybe MAGA ain't America first, and maybe that's it, but how can people who claim to be America first not be furious and disgusted with this dude giving money to Israel, Ukraine, Argentina, like literally at this point random countries, except they're not random countries because what do they all have in common? The president of Argentina has won the Jewish Nobel Prize. The president of Ukraine said that he wants to make Ukraine the big Israel. Right? Israel is Israel. we ain't got to think about that. And the opposition in Venezuela is 100% pro-Israel. Are we getting the picture of what we're looking at yet? Trump isn't helping various countries. Trump is supporting Israel in various places. Let's take a look at it. The 2025 Nobel Peace Prize has been awarded to Maria Corina Machado, a far-right coup leader in Venezuela who has been funded by the U.S. government for decades. Machado has openly called for U.S. military to invade Venezuela, which is about to do, in order to overthrow the revolutionary Chavista government of President Nicolas Maduro. By the way, Maduro captured some CIA people today. I don't have that up, but I will remind me to cover that because, like, as far as I know, it happened today. Like I told you, I had a long day, but I did see that. I was like, wait, what? Now, maybe it wasn't today and I'm late. I don't know, but I thought it was today. Now, she is at the heart of the war that Donald Trump has waged on Venezuela. Machado has endorsed the U.S. military's extrajudicial killings of Venezuelans in boats in international waters, echoing the Trump administration's unsubstantiated, evidence-free claims that was supposedly killing drug dealers. Now, let's stop right here, because this is crazy. And shout out to Brother Vincent Ali. I appreciate you, brother, for hitting the Cash App. So, you know, Brother Vincent has broken the seal on the Cash App. If anybody else wants to donate via Cash App, it's running along the bottom, $ DC Radical 1. Think about this, though. Think about how wild this is. Like, think about if there was a Democratic politician, or because I guess she's a politician, and they won the Nobel Peace Prize, but they won the Nobel Peace Prize while calling for Americans to get assassinated. Like we can't even like the media would destroy this person. Like, this person would be locked up immediately. Like, if they acted, they would be lucky to be locked up, because even if they were European, other Europeans would come for their head. This person is winning a peace prize and calling for her and supporting her own people being blown up because they're allegedly drug dealers. This is wild, man. The stuff that's going on in real life is people can't even. Kevin Simons used to say, "You can't make this stuff up." You can't make this stuff up. Anyway, it says the fact that a pro-war far-right coup plotter like Machado was given a Nobel Peace Prize demonstrates how extremely hypocritical the award is. I mean, if I'm not mistaken, they gave the Peace Prize to the inventor of dynamite back in the day. So do with that information what you will. U.S. Imperial Planner Henry Kissinger was given a so-called Peace Prize. Oh, Lord. Anyway, despite the fact that he's one of the worst war criminals in modern history, with the blood of millions on his hands in Vietnam, Cambodia, Laos, Bangladesh, Chile, and beyond. Now, we know who Henry Kissinger is. I ain't got to say it. Y'all got emojis. Former U.S. President Barack Hussein Obama also won a so-called Nobel Peace Prize in 2009. His administration then went on to wage non-stop war. Obama bombed 7 countries: Afghanistan, Iraq, Libya, Pakistan, Somalia, Syria, and Yemen. What do all these countries have in common? These are all Muslim countries, and most of them have at one time or another been antagonists of Israel. So Obama bombed 7 countries that were antagonists of Israel. That might be a coincidence. Then again, it might not. This is by no means the first time that the Norwegian Nobel Committee has been hypocritical. By giving the prize to Maria Corina Machado is especially outrageous because it comes precisely at a moment when, 1, she has been supporting Israel's genocide in Gaza, and 2, she's working with Donald Trump to wage war and use violence to overthrow her own government. Bruh, I'm gonna just be honest. This is this is just wild to me, right? The more I think about it, the more it's just like, how you get a Peace Prize for supporting your own people get killed. This, man, we live in bizarre world where everything is backwards. It says Machado has openly praised Israel as it has carried out a genocide against the Palestinian people. A United Nations commission led by renowned experts on international humanitarian law stated clearly that Israel has committed genocide in Gaza. In January 2025, Machado held a call with Israel's Minister of Foreign Affairs, Gideon Saar. She expressed her gratitude to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Israel, adding that she immensely values the support of the government of Israel. The genocidal Israeli regime has refused to recognize the government of Venezuela's constitutional, internationally recognized President Nicolas Maduro, and has instead recognized U.S.-backed coup leader Edmundo Gonzalez, who lives in Spain and is a proxy for Machado. So if he lives in Spain, I would not be surprised if his roots go back to there. And if you know your history about Spain and they're fleeing to South America, then you know your history. In April 2024, Israel attacked Iran in an act of aggression, one of many at this point, and Tehran hit back in self-defense. Machado immediately took to Twitter to condemn Iran. She emphasized her solidarity with the state of Israel amid the direct aggression by the Iranian regime. Machado denounced the supposed risk represented by the alliance of Iran with the Venezuela regime, and she vowed that if the U.S. can successfully put her in power in Caracas, Machado would form a close alliance with the U.S. and Israel against Iran. Hey, man, let me just say this real quick. Mr. Maduro needs to make a call to Mr. Putin and Mr. Xi. Is it Xi Jinping? Or you guys gonna help me out? Is Xi Jinping still the president of China? And Brother KW Don said, yeah, Alfred Nobel invented dynamite. Okay, right. Yeah, so, they named the whole award after the dude that invented dynamite. My bad. Thank you. And Mr. I can't remember the president, but he needs to call them two and the supreme leader. You know, I guess you got Rico dipped out. He said, "Be before these street bug." All right, brother. My bad. I wasn't looking at the comments. So the president of Argentina gets $40 billion, and he gets the Jewish Nobel Peace Prize. The president, the person that they would put in to be the president, gets the actual Peace Prize, and she'll be able to name her price once they basically overthrow the government of Venezuela, even though Venezuela isn't doing anything. Which means at that point, the Argentine, the Venezuelan, if they pull this off, the Ukrainian, and there is one of, and the Mexican. Because y'all know, right? Y'all put a one in the channel if you know that the new president of Mexico is also Jewish. Yeah, the music stopped when I said that. Yeah, the new president of Mexico is a Jewish woman, even though they're like 0.5% of the population in Mexico. Hey, man. Listen, this could all be a crazy coincidence. Or not. Or it could not be a crazy coincidence. It could just be crazy. This is crazy. But don't nobody want to talk about it. So that leaves it up to me. There was one article with her that I wanted to bring up because it's great. It said, I think, is this it? Let me see if this is it. This is the Jewish exponent, right? It says why is the Jewish exponent writing about Maria Corina Machado. Since Maria Corina Machado won the 2025 Nobel Peace Prize from hiding with her children scattered for their safety, her allies in prison, and a warrant out for her arrest. What's interesting is they don't say why, and they just act like all of a sudden, oh, someone's other. Anyway, she won it because, against staggering odds, she's become the face of a nation's fight for freedom. Oh, they about to, what the young people say, they about to glaze her in this article. All right, so y'all get ready for the ridiculous glazing that's about to take place. From the moment she challenged Hugo Chavez and later Nicolas Maduro, she became regime's most unyielding foe, a woman who would not bend. The defiance made her both an inspiration and a target. She was stripped of her seat, barred from public office, and driven underground. Yet she stayed in Venezuela even as friends and family fled. When the country went back to the polls in July 2024, she was already banned from running as a candidate. So she backed Edmundo Gonzalez, who, according to independent tallies, won by a landslide. Maduro declared victory anyway and unleashed repression. Protesters were beaten, hundreds were arrested, and Machado disappeared. This sounds, let me tell you something. This sounds so much like what they pulled off in the Ukraine, except the president just accepted the loss and CIA moved him out the way. This whole operation sounds exactly like the Ukraine operation. Maduro says from that hidden life she learned that she had won the Nobel Peace Prize, the first Venezuelan ever to do so. The Norwegian committee called her a woman who keeps the flame of democracy burning amid a growing darkness. Man, listen, there's no democracy in America. So if there's no democracy in America, the idea that there's democracy anywhere this stuff is a joke. It's all so fake. It makes my head hurt looking at this ridiculous propaganda. So basically, then this is what's so interesting about this. They have not explicitly in any of these articles claimed her as Jewish yet, but she's been pumped up and getting glazed all over various Jewish media outlets. Maybe it's just a coincidence. But I doubt it. Look at the advertisement. The Philadelphia Jewish Film and Media Festival, right? That's advertisement. For those of you in Philly want to go to that, it's November 12th. Look, who's on their thing? Josh Shapiro, Rabbi Yonah, something Herzog, somebody Stein. This is a Jewish media outlet dedicated to Jewish people that happens to be covering an allegedly non-Jewish Nobel Peace Prize winner. Make of that what you will. Who is being backed by a president who's being blackmailed by Mossad. Can't make this stuff up. So I won't even try. And of course, I forgot that she says she loves Netanyahu and she wants the Jewish people who will run out of town to come back to the country. Yeah, she didn't say, I want my supporters. She said, I want the Jewish people to come back. So, what does that tell you? All right. So, let me just say this in closing. And yeah, I guess I get to the NBA thing next time. By the way, don't forget, we will be back here tomorrow, 6 p.m. If the ancestors allow, to do SBL talk. And right now, I do not know what the subject matter will be. If you have a subject that you want us covered, either put it in, you can put it in the comments. You can put it in the chat, or you can put it in the comments after the video, or you can email it to me, or you can DM me on Instagram. So, for example, do I even have the right Do I got the right what's name playing? Do I got the right banner playing down here? No, I ain't even got the right banner. I ain't gonna tell me I put the wrong banner. I'm bad. So, with that, let me say, this is The Center. I'm your host, DC Radical 1. You can follow me on Instagram at DC.radical1. Follow me on Twitter at DCRadical_ONE. You can follow me on OTW2 at DCRadical1. You can email me at dc.radical_1 at protonmail.com. If you would like to donate to the show to keep the show up and running, you can do that via Cash App, $ DC Radical 1, or DC Radical the number 1. Let me clarify that. Or you can do it via Zelle, and you can use the email that's going across your screen, dc.radical_1 at protonmail.com. I will say this. People around the world are going to have to make a choice. They can either continue to do what they're doing and eventually be destroyed. Right, just being honest. Or we can make some type of agreement that something strange is going on, where a certain group of people seem to be in control of more and more things despite their limited numbers. And they also have a vast amount of wealth that's almost inexplicable. And once that noticing is done, then some type of agreement on what is going to have to be done to reverse this trend is going to have to take place. Now, how this comes about, I have absolutely no idea. But I can say this. Here in America, the ship is sinking. Hey, look, the ship is sinking. And black people are at the bottom of the ship, but everybody else is still on the boat. And just because we in the most danger don't mean that we the only ones that's going, because a lot of times when the ship sinks, it flips over. And the people at the bottom end up at the top, and the people at the top end up at the bottom. But the people who are causing the boat to sink, they already got life rafts ready to go somewhere else. Time is running out. That's what I mean. I don't know what to say. But though, for the limited number of people who watch these shows, man, do me a favor. Spread this information. Even if you don't share the shows, spread the information. Let people know what's going on. Because, hey, man, we're going to have to do something. We're going to have to do something quickly. And I hate to say it, even if we leave here, eventually, the enemy is going to find us wherever we are. That's the reality of the situation we're dealing with. Right? And before I go, man, let me just say this. Please don't be the type of goofy person that gets caught up in a Democrat versus Republican thing, because they're both owned by AIPAC. If Trump wasn't in office, this wouldn't be going on, but something else would be going on. In fact, I can say that the Venezuela thing would still be going on, but as far as on the domestic tip, it would be other stuff going on, because each party has their own part to play in advancing the cause of the Zionists. So this is beyond both parties. So voting is not the answer. It's just not. Somebody's eventually gonna say, DC, what's the answer? The answer is, I'm gonna say this. If there are any Europeans watching, and I didn't send it out to Europeans today, I'm gonna tell y'all this. The way your country was founded is the only way you can save it. Make of that what you will. And with that, I say, I'll be for you. And straight black pride.